it's Debbie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm a reseller. I've been reselling for 17 years, mainly on eBay, Poshmark, a little bit on Mercari, and I just started on Facebook Marketplace also. And in today's video, I'm going to continue a series that I started where I'm showing everything that it takes to list an item online, from the shopping, the research, pricing, creating drafts, cleaning and prepping, and today we are on photography. I'm going to share with you the process that I use, which might differ from other people, but I find that it is the easiest, most efficient way that I have found for photographing. I use my iPhone. I started out for many years. I used this nice Canon camera. I used up the shutter life, had to replace the base twice. So this is what I used for so long. And then about a year ago, I started using my phone a lot more, and I realized that the quality of the photos was so good now that I couldn't tell a difference in quality between taking the pictures with my camera and with my phone. I just have an iPhone XR and it works excellent. Be sure that you check your phone settings prior to taking photos and that you have it set for a square mode or 1:1 ratio. Most platforms require a square photo, and if you take them in that format, it is so much easier. You don't have to edit later. And another issue, if you take it in a different format, when you go to crop it into square mode, sometimes it will cut off some of your pictures. So you do not want that to happen. So always make sure that your phone is set in square mode prior to taking your photos. I think that the three most important things when photographing items is you want to make sure that you have clear photos, that they are detailed, they show as much information as possible, and that they are accurate. Number one, clear photos. I love using the app Photo Room. That has been such a game changer for me because you can use any kind of background and it will remove the background for you so you have a nice, clean, crisp, white background. I will demonstrate how I use that. Okay, this is generally my everyday setup for taking my photographs. I just put my mannequin in the middle of my living room with no special lighting. Sometimes I will change the angle depending on how the light is shining through, and I will just try to capture every single angle that I can, and then sometimes I will put it on the floor to take the measurements and be able to show the interior. That one had shoulder pads, so I wanted to be sure and show that. I showed the tags. I flipped it underneath so that they could also see the care. Then sometimes I'll put it up on the kitchen counter and take more photos there and the measurements right on the counter. I always wash the floor and the counter prior to taking photos to make sure that it is very clean and I don't get anything on it. This is an example of one other dress that I'm taking photographs of. This one had a lot of really pretty details. The ruffling, the sleeves were neat, and so I want to get as many angles as I can possible. I want to show that it's lined. I, again, take a picture of every tag that I find inside. I thought I would move into another room so that I could take pictures with a different background so that you can see just how easily Photo Room removes the background from a variety of different backgrounds. And I'm taking pictures of one more item. That is the Veronica Beard sweater. And again, all angles, measurements, and tags that I can find. I want to photograph everything possible. This is what the Photo Room app looks like, and there is a free version. You will just have a little watermark in the bottom corner of your photos, which I don't think is a problem at all. Or there is a pro version. I think it's $9.49 a month, and it takes the watermark away and it allows you to edit in bulk quantity, which I do like that a lot. On my phone, that is what the icon looks like. I just click on that. When the app opens, I click on Start from Photo. Then I go to the top left-hand corner and select for it to open my camera roll. I also select multiple so that I can edit multiple images at once. Next, I click on Select Images. This allows me to pick which images I would like to have the background removed from. I go through and I select the ones that I would like. I do not pick every single one, and sometimes I only remove the background from the very first photo, but I'm selecting more today to show you. Then I clicked on next and it starts scanning my first photo. After it scans that, it opens up a page where I select which background I would like. I select classic because I just want a plain white background. Then it goes through and it scans each of the photos that I had selected. I am clicking on the top right hand corner where you see the numbers and next, and when I click each time it prompts it to move to the next photo. There is an option if it messes it up a little bit, you can erase areas or add areas back in, but it is rare that I ever use that. Usually it turns out perfectly, and this is in real time. This is how fast it actually works. Then when you have all of the photos scanned, I click the top right hand corner. It then gives me several options of where I would like to have my photos exported to, and I select my camera roll. Then when I open my camera roll, there are all of my photos saved, and I think they look so nice and so much more professional with the white background. And I will let you know, I am not sponsored by this app. I have actually not even received 1 penny. I had an affiliate link, but it never worked. They had trouble with it. So I am promoting this just because I use it daily and absolutely love it. It has been a great tool in my reselling business. That I think is really important is to make sure your photos are very detailed. You want them to basically get almost every bit of information from the photos. I have noticed that a lot of times if I have things written out in the description, people don't even read them. If it's not in a photo, they will still ask me, what are the measurements? What kind of material is it? Because in general, I feel like people like to look at the pictures to get information much more than reading the actual description. So I now have my description much shorter and really spend a lot of my emphasis on providing all information in the photos. Taking photos, you want to make sure that you show every angle of the item. You want to show the front, the back, the side. If it is a hat, you want to show the top. If it's something that has an interior that needs to be seen, show inside. Show every angle that you can, and then also close-ups. If there are buttons that are decorative or a fabric that is unique and you can't really see it from the far away version, it's really good to have close-ups. You want to take pictures of all of the tags, the brand, the size, the fabric content, the care, any tags that there are. I just go ahead and photograph them so that the information will be there for them. You want to disclose any flaws that the item has. I have found that items still sell very well with flaws if it is an item that has a good sell-through rate. Last, you want to be sure to describe things as accurately as possible. You do not want to sell an item and you have altered the photo or not disclosed something and then the person gets it and they're not happy with it. They open up a case. That causes you time and money. So you definitely want to make sure your listings are as accurate as possible. I use a mannequin. And this is my mannequin. I purchased it on eBay for about $50 about 7 years ago, which means I did not use anything for about 10 years of selling. Had a 6-figure income for many years just laying my items on the floor. You do not have to have a mannequin. I think it's really nice when you have items that really shows the form of the items, but you absolutely do not have to have a mannequin. I have a ring light that I use for YouTube videos. I've used it a couple times when I'm photographing and the house is completely dark, but I usually don't. I just photograph in a room in my house that has enough light and that's it. Now I did a little experiment to see how much of a difference that it made. So I got up early in the morning when there was no light at all. I went to the back of the house and in a bathroom where there are no windows, completely dark, and set up just my ring light. Took photos that way of this nightgown. Then I also took photographs in the bathroom with just the regular light bulbs and turned off the ring light. And then I waited till the sun came up and I came out here in the living room where there was plenty of light shining through the windows and I took pictures of that. So I'm going to show you the 3 pictures side by side, and you see if you can tell much of a difference and which one you think looks the best. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So we will go back in time and I will show you photographing this, and then I'll show you a few more items how I photograph and edit. So let's go back to early in the morning. Okay, so which one do you think looks the best? I put them in random order, but one of them is using the ring light, one of them just the bathroom lights, and one of them natural light. So look at them and see which one you think looks the best. And then here are the answers below. I showed a lot of people these pictures and everybody seemed to say the middle picture, but my daughter Morgan had the best answer. She said whichever one reflects the actual color is the best, and that is absolutely true. They all look good. All of the photos are going to be great for the listing, but you want to make sure that your photo most accurately shows the actual item that you are selling. This is a Mud Pie Grill Master platter, and again I'm just taking pictures on my kitchen counter. I like to get close-ups of the texture. The tape measure was a little wobbly, so I just set it on my AirPods case to make sure it was level, so I gave accurate measurements. I try to get the depth of it. I get the entire back and I zoom in on the logo. Then just for fun, I took it outside to see what the difference would be in taking the photographs on the kitchen counter versus outside in direct sunlight. And as you can see, there is a little bit of a difference on the inside photos and the outside photos, but they're both going to work. They both look good, and either picture is going to sell the item. And basically, you work with what you have and you take the best pictures with the environment that you have. Then this is a water filter, and I wanted to take a picture of this because this box is pretty damaged. However, the interior contents are still factory sealed, so I want to show that. And whenever you have something like this, I take pictures of all of the wording on all sides of the box. This saves me from having to type out every single thing, and they can see on it exactly what it says. So I think it's helpful to be able to just photograph every single bit of the box. Okay, you can see it is kind of a dark, gloomy day outside. My husband is over on the couch watching television, and used to I would worry about something showing up in the background, but now I don't have to worry about it at all because I can just remove the background. I wanted to show how I photograph a pair of shoes. I am sure to get every angle, the top, all of the sides, the bottom. I try several different angles. That way, if I take more photos than I actually need, I can pick the ones that end up looking the best to use as my photos. It's much better to have more than you need and be selective than not have enough photos. I'm also sure to get the bottom of the shoes, and I also try to get an angle where you can see how much of the tread is left. These have a little bit of damage, so I am sure to show some close-ups so that they know exactly what they are getting and the person that purchases the item ends up happy with it. I also get the size inside, and if it shows any style numbers or tags, I take pictures of all of that also. Okay, so that is everything that I have for you today. I am not an expert photographer. I know very little about photography, but I do know what I feel is important, that you have clear pictures, you give as many details as possible, and make sure that it's accurate. And if you do those things and your item is an in-demand item, it's going to sell. If anybody has any additional tips that would be helpful for everybody else, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I release new videos. And if you received any value from this video and would consider giving me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it so much. Thank you for watching, and everybody have a great day. Bye.